going to learn how to remit the taxes that Airbnb collected during booking transactions that we set up in our listing settings using Pro Tools, and that's in a separate video, so you can watch that first if you haven't set up taxes in your listing settings yet. What we're going to do now is we are going to look at our earnings report. So how the taxes work is that whenever a reservation is made, Airbnb sweeps the tax percentage that you set up in your listing settings for specific, days. Like if it's a longer stay, then it won't collect the taxes. It's only if it's like for Huntington Beach, 30 nights or less is subject to the transient occupancy tax. And so if you, in any stay over 31 nights would not get taxed. So anyways, the ones that are short-term rental, when they book, they pay that tax along with making the reservation, and then Airbnb remits that tax to you at the time of a normal payout on the second day of the stay. Airbnb will remit one payout for the lodging and another payout for the transient taxes. So first of all, we're going to figure out how much Airbnb collected and balance that to the income that we made, so that we make sure that we are remitting the right amount of transient taxes to the city. So first of all, we're going to go to Airbnb, and we're going to switch to the hosting side of Airbnb, because that's where your earnings statements is located. We're going to go to earnings right here, and we're going to click on that. And then when we get to the earnings statement, we're going to go to the paid amount here. And for the paid amount, depending on how many listings you have, you're going to pick the listings that you want to see how much you made and how much Airbnb took out for the taxes. I only have one listing, and so I've selected that listing right there. This is the nickname I gave it, California STR. And then the date range, so we have to remit by quarter. So we are remitting now for quarter two. Quarter two was July 1st to September 30th. So what I did was I rather than the default is all dates, I changed it to custom dates. And then I did the start date, and I went back and I went to July 1st. And then the end date is, I clicked on that, and then I went to the end date, and I just clicked on that date, and I said apply, and apply again. And so now it's just set up to produce a report for this date range, this listing. If you have multiple listings, though, you can check. There's a little checkbox here, and you can select all the listings that you have, that Airbnb collected tax for. Then when you're done with that, you're going to go down to Get CSV Report, and you're going to click on that. It's going to ask how you want to export it. You can either have it sent to you by email, or you can just have it open on your device. So this is my laptop, so I'm just going to have the report open on my laptop. So I check that box. And then you can deselect all this criteria that you want reported, and just pick and choose the data that you want included in your report. But for today, I'm just going to keep everything selected, and then I'm going to go ahead and create the report. And what it does, here's the downloaded report right here. It's super fast to do. And what it does is it creates an Apple document, numbers, but I'm a Windows, I have an Apple laptop, but I'm a Windows person by heart, so I really like Excel. So what I did was I exported this to Excel, this data. When you go back to to the one that you download from Airbnb, it is not sorted, so you have different types of payouts. When you see the pass-through total here, the pass-through is the TOT, the transient tax that Airbnb swept from the transaction. So when I go over on this line, you can see that Airbnb swept $162.12 from the guest at the time of the booking transaction. So that's better to have the guest pay for this amount than you. So really, I encourage you to set up your listing settings and have those taxes swept during booking transactions. I never have guests, complain about the transient tax. So, but like I said, I want to go to Excel, so I'm going to go back to the Excel side. And what I'm going to do is I just hit the sort button here, the sort A to Z. And I just sorted everything, in the type of payout that it is, so that all my pass-through totals are sorted. And what I did was I inserted a couple of rows, so that I had a gap between the two of them, between the next type of payout. And then I just did the subtotal here, I totaled and got the amount. So for the second quarter, Airbnb swept $671.40 from booking transactions. I mean, we're required to collect and remit tax in Huntington Beach. And I know a lot of hosts, they will pay out of pocket. They will determine how much tax they think the city deserves or is owed. But this is a sizable chunk of money that the guests paid and not you. So I really encourage you to take the time. You just set it up once, and then after that, the process is automated, and Airbnb will just automatically collect that tax. Now, the other thing about this, so what I did too was I froze the top line, because the way that Airbnb has it, those heading columns go up and they disappear, and then sometimes you don't know what's what. So that's another thing I modify in the Excel spreadsheet, is that I freeze the header row up at the top, so I know what each charge is for. But other than that, like all these columns, I cannot get them to just determine what the nightly rate and what the cleaning fee is. Like, here's the cleaning fee column right here, but the nightly rate, yeah, it's confusing to me. So I need to know how it's reported to the city of Huntington Beaches. They want to know the revenue, the nightly rate plus the cleaning fee. And if you look at your ordinance, it says that we're required to collect everything except for the Airbnb service fee. And back in the day when we could get a security deposit, those are not taxed. But everything else in a reservation, so the pet fee, the cleaning fee, the linen fee, the resort fee, the extra guest fee, are all subject to tax, to the transient tax. And the city wants to know what the earnings, the cleaning fee and the nightly rate. So all those extra guest, pet fee, everything, that's all folded into the nightly rate. And then the cleaning fee is broken out. So anyways, to figure out how to get the nightly rate plus the cleaning fee, because I can't figure it out here, I will go to the reservation details, and I will just look at what the nights are and the cleaning fee, and then there's the transient fee right there. The property use taxes is what's called in the reservation details. So these two figures, whatever the rate is, if 14% is this. And so, and this $100.80 $100.80 is right there, right? So I know that I have the $100.80 is right there. So I know this total is in the reservation details. It's just the nightly rate. I can't figure out how to calculate the nightly rate. So what I do is I just go and I take I go back to the calendar. I go to the calendar and I click on the, because I have a few listings. I will click on the one that is subject to the transient occupancy tax. And I will just look on the calendar and I will individually go, okay, I'm going to go to this this is the first one in July. This is because the city wants to know by month. So what I do is I click on the reservation and I go down to the reservation details and I say, okay, the nightly rate, including extra guest fees, including any other fees that I have, but really I just have extra guest fee, is in this top total, the $1148.04, and then the cleaning fee. So I'll go back to the Excel spreadsheet and I will put the nightly rate plus the cleaning fee, the nightly rate plus the cleaning fee. And this is for the month of July. I'll just look at the calendar and put them on there. And then I'll just use that total function and I'll total it. And then I will time it by the 4%, by the 10%, by the 4%, because this quarter is messy. This is why I'm doing this, is because if you had bookings that were made like before June 23rd, then those guests paid 4%. But like after the city announced it, and I think it's June 23rd, you needed to change your tax rate from 4% to 6% for the TBID, Tourism Business Improvement District tax. So anyways, all of my reservations were made prior to, say, June 23rd, whatever the effective date is, except for one reservation. And when I go and I look, that reservation was, I didn't have the rate, I didn't increase the tourism improvement business tax. And so I collected $28.80 and it should have been $43.20. So the difference is $14.40. So I'm going to pay that extra $14.40 just because I come from an accounting background and I like all my I's dotted and all my T's crossed, because if anybody ever comes back to me, everything is tight and can be totally audited. But so the city wants to know, the total amount of revenue. You'll see in just a minute, we're going to go over to the city website to remit the money. And they want it to know it by each month. So you're going to have 3 separate totals. So I had this much. I had one booking in August, and then I had no bookings in September. And so I'm going to go over to the city website. And so the city website, I have it saved as a favorite. I have it named as the Huntington Beach TOT TBID login. It's called MuniRevs, and this is the screen that you're going to see at the beginning of the screen. And you want to just go up to the tab up here and go to Standard, and you want to log in. And I have my login saved, and so I'm going to type that in, the password, and so I'm going to log in. And this is what the website looks like. It's not the most user-friendly thing to see, but here it is. So I have one open task right here, and so it's to remit the transient occupancy for the second quarter. Now this is messy, Because normally you would put in the correct amounts for month 1, month 2, and month 3. And then the website calculates the amount of tax that you owe. And so then you go back over to your Excel report and it should match. Mine doesn't match because I didn't collect the right amount for one of the stays. That it was made in July and I collected it at 4% and it should have been at 6%. So when I put in the difference and I go down to the total amount of TOT that I owe let's see, I owe $685.79. I just did a bunch of figures and I came up to $685.79, which is I can look at the website and see that the 14. Well, I can look at here at the total TBID here and see that the difference is the $14.40 that I under collected for the one stay, and I'm going to be just totally honest and pay that. So, I'm going above and beyond. So, anyways, I have $685.79, but the problem is that when you go to the website, they have the assessment at 6% for the entire quarter, and we got dispensation from the city to honor the 4% bookings that were made prior to, I'll just say June 23rd. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's at the end of June, and the 6% tax rate went into effect July 1st, 2024. So what I did was, I am not going to pay the city any more than I need to, and the amount that I am paying is $685.79. So I adjusted my figure up here until the total was $685.79. Because if you look and see, like I will just change, you can change this, and when you do that, it changes the dollar amount here. So you can play with these figures, and I did that in order to come up with what I really truly owe the city is $685.79 at this 6%. I was under the impression that we could override and pay whatever it is down here. We could override, but I don't see any way of overriding. There's no fillable thing here for the city. So I am just going to go ahead and keep it like this, and I'm going to go ahead and pay it. So what I'm doing is I'm paying $685.79, which balances to my Excel spreadsheet, and if anybody from the city wants to audit my account, I feel very confident that I can justify my payment to them. So that's why I really stress setting up the payment, the tax sweeping, so that the city doesn't audit your account and you owe back taxes that would come out of your pocket then, because it would be too late to collect from your guests. So that would not be good at all. So I'm going to click on the payment method, and I already have set up, my payment method. So it's just going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and, once that you set this up, it will just automatically, like a cookie will remember it. So I'm paying $685.79. I'm going to pay it now. I don't know what this, yeah. And so I have went ahead and for reals remitted the payment that is due to the city for the, for quarter 2. I guess, no, quarter three, for quarter three, yes. So from July to September, quarter three. And so October, November, December is quarter four. Maybe I'll do another video for quarter four, because then it will be 100%, 6% collected, swept in Airbnb and collected. And so it'll be much cleaner than this one. That's the purpose for doing these video, these YouTube videos and having the call in today, is because this quarter is messy. So if you have any questions at all, go to the group Facebook page, click on my name, send me a message, ask me a question. Please do not call, but I am happy to answer any messages, any questions that you have, send you any links about the YouTube videos, and answer any and all questions you have. So I really thank you for your time.